When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, it sparked a 5-year civil war that destroyed the Tajik economy and industry. The drugs trade remains a major money earner for Tajiks, but they also have huge mineral resources which are now starting to be exploited. In the remote north of the country, we came across this gold mine, operated by a Western firm. One of the managers is a 22-year-old Exitonian called Wills. How much can it pick up?
5 cubic meters per hour.
Which weighs about?
It's about 9 tons.
9 tons, each scoop?
Each scoop is 9 tons. It's capable of moving about 7,000 tons a day.
My toys were never like this.
Mine are.
Will's father is the boss of the company. So what's a 22-year-old old Etonian doing here?
I came out here originally just for experience, just after school, and I kind of got the bug, and I was meant to go to university. I did try that for a bit, and then I just came back and decided to make this. It's a big challenge. It's exciting, it's a big challenge. You can make money.
What's it actually like working here? I mean, how do you find the people and the country? Because I think people back home would find it a little bit strange and imagine that it's very hard to operate here.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. You've got to have quite a lot of patience, and it tests your patience quite a lot. It's just the whole communist sort of way of thinking, as opposed to our way of thinking. But also, you have to understand them. If you just come in here and try and say, oh, you know, we're good and we know everything better, it won't work. I mean, you'll go home with your tail between your legs, basically.
The company employs 500 Tajiks and claims to be the biggest foreign investor in the entire country. So what are the predictions for how much you'll be earning from these mines?
By the autumn, we probably could be making up to about $500,000 profit a month.
It's a slow process actually getting the gold out of the ground. They have to blast and sift through a ton of rock, then mix it with chemicals such as cyanide, just to get 8 grams of gold. A small safety rope was all that protected us from the crusher ahead.
In another mine, somebody got stuck in the conveyor and they got messed up. It's an induction furnace, it's the melting pot. It's where all the gold and silver gets melted and we pour it into bars. There's always a little bit of residue. Simon's been quite lucky, he's managed to get some.
So if I glue enough of these together, I can make a small ring. It may take some time.
We've got a gold room, which is a secure room, and inside that we've got a secure cage, and inside the secure cage we've got a secure room, and inside the secure room we've got a safe.
So it's quite secure. Well, that's the end product. 85% silver, 10% gold, $20,000 worth, just there. You better have it back, because I'm so tempted to try and make a break for it.
Well, there is a gentleman outside with an AK-47.
If we did have any thoughts about leaving with some of the gold, the gentleman here is going to protect it. AK-47?
Kalashnikov. Автомат это Kalashnikov.
You remember the general we saw in the convoy, the one with the brand new Jaguar? We've just come to have a little chat with him, to ask him about the success of the Football Federation. It must be doing very well. The general was a teacher before the Civil War started, when he became a powerful warlord. He fought for the ex-communist government against a broad coalition of mild and extreme Islamic groups.
Over 100,000 people were killed. When the national economy was almost entirely ruined. Things could not get any more miserable. Sometimes I meet up with some of the other commanders. To be honest, we laugh about the fact that we could be such idiots, that we fought against each other and we killed each other.
The former teacher did rather well out of the war and says he was given this $50,000 car by the president for preventing a coup.
Wow. Are the seats, these are leather?
Yes.
Look at that.
Top of the range.
And is the gun factory fitted?
No, I added it myself.
I was worried that might have been sold by Jaguar.
You should tell the manufacturers they should make a special compartment for guns. I've had a lot of different cars. But this car is like a friend to me. We talk to each other. I'd like to say thank you to the people who built this car. I hope that the standard of living will rise here so that everyone can drive around in this kind of car. I'm sure that lots of Tajiks would choose a Daimler.
The Tajiks worry about drugs and militants coming from Afghanistan, so we headed south towards the border to see how well it's guarded.
We're just going to stop for a brief rest at the Tajik version of a little chef. Salam alaikum. Oh, look at that. Don't get this sort of view on the M25, do you?
The beautiful lake down below is actually Tajikistan's biggest reservoir. This makes it one of the most strategically vital spots in the whole country.
You can survive without oil, but you cannot survive without water.
The reservoir also provides water for Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, making it a potential strategic weapon for the Tajiks.
So if they annoy the Tajik government turn off their water supply?
Possibly, yes, possibly, but they never do that. I don't know why.
But they got the power.
We got the power, yes. Water is like our oil. So that's why maybe we are more richer than some oil-producing countries, like Kazakhstan or even Emirates or Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
After lunch, the cafe owner took us around the back to show us his popular tourist attraction. He found this bust of Lenin on a rubbish dump after it was pulled down following the collapse of the Soviet Union.
And that, yes, he says it's like a tourist attraction because quite recently some Iranians and Chinese were here and they took picture with Lenin. They said that he's really great, I mean, his role in history also.
So he likes Lenin?
Yes, yes, he's not. He says, I'm not a communist, but I actually love him because he's really a great figure, he says.
In Tajikistan, women happily abandoned Russian-style clothes, which are associated with their former masters.
Where is she going?
But unlike neighbouring Afghanistan, where the Taliban ruled that women must wear head-to-toe burqas, women here have never had to hide their faces. Poppies were a sign that we were nearing the dangerous Afghan border. We first had to stop at a Tajik army base to pick up an armed escort. Remnants of the Soviet past still litter the base here, and despite being independent for 12 years, these conscripts will soon be wearing old Soviet uniforms.
This is in memoriam of those who lost their lives during either the civil war or on the border during patrolling in Afghanistan.
Quite a few names.
Yes, even here you can see that. For example, one of them was just 20 years old and the second one was like 24 years old. So.